So we're going to talk about how the Feast of Trumpets falls around the time of the autumnal equinox and what other observances were held throughout the ancient Near East as well as in America. So this is a article on the September equinox or southward equinox. This is the moment when the sun appears to cross the celestial equator heading southward. Because of differences between the calendar year and the tropical year, the September equinox may occur from September the 21st to the 24th. At the equinox, the sun, as viewed from the equator, rises due east and sets due west. Before the southward equinox, the sun rises and sets more northerly, and afterwards it rises and sets more southerly. The equinox may be taken to mark the end of astronomical summer and the beginning of astronomical autumn, the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere, while marking the end of astronomical winter and the start of astronomical spring, the vernal equinox in the southern hemisphere. Occurrences. The September equinox is one point in time commonly used to determine the length of the tropical year. The constellation. The point where the sun crosses the celestial equator southwards is called the first point of Libra. However, because of the precision of the equinoxes, this point is no longer in the constellation Libra, but rather in Virgo. The solar point of the September equinox passed from Libra and into Virgo in 729 or 730 BCE and will enter Leo in 2439. Apparent movement of the sun in relation to the horizon. At the equinox, the sun rises directly in the east and sets directly in the west. However, because of refraction, it will usually appear slightly above the horizon at the moment when its true middle is rising or setting. For viewers at the north or south poles, it moves virtually horizontally on or above the horizon, not obviously rising or setting apart from the movement in declination, and hence altitude of a little under a half of 0.39 degree per day. For observers in either hemisphere not at the poles, the sun rises and sets more and more to the south during the 3 months following the September equinox. This period is the second half of a 6-month-long southerly movement, beginning with the June solstice when the sun rises and sets at its most northern point. Culture. Calendars. The September equinox marked the first day of the French Republican calendar. Commemorations. West Asia. The southward equinox marks the first day of Mer or Libra in the Iranian calendar. It is one of the Iranian festivals called Jashne Marigan, or the Festival of Sharing or Love in Zoroastrianism. East Asia. In Japan, Autumnal Equinox Day, Shubun no Hi, is a public holiday. Higan or Higan is a Buddhist holiday exclusively celebrated by Japanese sects during both the spring and autumnal equinox. In Korea, Chuseok is a major harvest festival and a 3-day holiday celebrated around the autumn equinox. The Mid-Autumn Festival is celebrated on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month, often near the autumnal equinox day, and is an official holiday in mainland China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and in many countries with a significant Chinese minority. As the lunar calendar is not synchronous with the Gregorian calendar, this date could be anywhere from mid-September to early October. The traditional East Asian calendars divide a year into 24 solar terms, literally climatic segments, and the autumnal equinox, Chinese and Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, and Thupan, marks the middle of the autumn season. In this context, the Chinese character meaning equal or division within a season. Judaism. The Jewish Sukkot usually falls on the first full moon after the Northern Hemisphere autumnal equinox, although occasionally in the modern Jewish calendar, 3 times every 19 years, it will occur on the second full moon. Rosh Hashanah falls on a new moon close to this equinox. Europe. Dozinki is a Slavic harvest festival. In pre-Christian times, the feast usually fell on the autumn equinox. The southern equinox was New Year's Day in the French Republican calendar, which was in use from 1793 to 1805. The French First Republic was proclaimed and the French monarchy was abolished on September 21st, 1792, making the following day, the equinox day that year, the first day of the Republican era in France. The start of every year was to be determined by astronomical calculations following the real sun and not the mean sun. The traditional harvest festival in the United Kingdom was celebrated on the Sunday of the full moon closest to the September equinox. Neo-paganism. Neo-pagans observe the September equinox as a cardinal point on the wheel of the year. In the Northern Hemisphere, some varieties of paganism adapt autumn equinox traditions. In the Southern Hemisphere, the vernal equinox corresponds with Ostara. In the Americas, the reconstructed Cahokia wood hinge, a large timber circle located at the Mississippian Culture Cahokia Archaeological Site near Collinsville, Illinois, is the site of annual equinox and solstice sunrise observances. An announcement for the 2017 observance said, out of respect for Native American beliefs, no rituals or ceremonies will be held at the free event, but visitors will stand in the same place where the Mississippian people once gathered to watch the sun rise.